Definitely last but not least, we have James. And James, you have, I don't know if it's the most unique, because everybody's coming in hot with
that's
uniqueness.
for sure.
With this one.
I asked everybody, can I get extra?
Yeah.
And you guys said yes, so I got extra.
We are going to have a heck of a time walking into a bar.
And you're going to enjoy the beginning of this campaign. Anyway, James, tell us about your character.
Okay, well, a little while ago, there was a down in his luck bartender innkeep, and he was trying to figure out a way to kind of revitalize his tavern. And while thinking about that, he went out back behind his tavern to start digging a new hole for a midden heap, because they didn't have garbage systems then. And as he was digging, the shovel hit something metal, tink. And he found that curious, and maybe excited that maybe it was like a bag of gold, who knows. So he took it up, and what he found was definitely not what he was expecting. He found a buried Warforged in his yard. So he dug it out completely and kind of dragged it over to his tavern, and it didn't seem to be working at all. It was just frozen in place. And so he, tried cleaning it up. He was trying to figure out what was going on with it. As he cleaned it off, he noticed it was made mostly of like this coppery bronze metal, along with sections of this coated wood that didn't seem to burn at all. It was the coating was protecting the wood somehow. So he looked had a lot of ornate carvings, scroll work and things like that on him. But no kind of identification, no idea where it came from, how long it had been there. So, as I said, he was cleaning it up, stood it up. Luckily, the feet were flat, so it could stand on its own freely. And there was one point where he was getting out the dirt and things like that had accumulated, and he pressed into a certain place, and all of a sudden, it started making music. A flute popped out of its neck and started playing. From inside his chest, he could hear a dulcimer and a tiny little drum playing, and it was playing an old children's song that he was familiar with from when he was little. So he found that was amazing. So as he finished cleaning up, he tried pressing that one place again, and it played a different song. So he got this bright idea that he was going to set up this Warforged in his tavern and hide it behind a screen so nobody could really see what it was. And devised a contraption that if you put a coin in, it would activate a lever that would poke that part of the Warforged and make it play music. So basically, he installed himself a jukebox in his tavern, which was great. Made him some coin for a while. But then one evening, while he was asleep, the Warforged woke up. Eventually, enough time had passed that all this activity and poking his side reactivated his mind, as it were. And he didn't know where he was. He didn't know really who he was. He was kind of mystified as to how he'd gotten there or where he had come from. All he could see was that in the back of his hand was etched in that fancy scroll work the word Lexicon. So he assumed that was his name. So, not knowing how he had gotten there, he decided, well, I should go find out what's going on. So he just left behind the tavern and made out his way. And in exploring, where he was and what he was, he realized that he could take control of these instruments and play music. He also realized that he had a slot in his lower abdomen crossways where he could basically print out information on paper that he could install inside himself. It basically had a calligrapher set installed inside of his lower body. That, it was expensive to use because paper's expensive, but and he found himself basically just wandering until he realized that there was a society. He started talking to people in the area, asking if any of them had heard of anything like him that had been around, and nobody knew anything. There weren't even any rumors, folk tales, nothing. So he realized that he just needed to make his way in the world while he was trying to figure himself out. So he decided to roll with this whole music thing and became a bard and learned that he could learn songs from people and record them within himself to be able to replay with his instruments. So he was able to make some coin, make his way in the world, get himself a little armor, take care of his weapons that have been going rusty, which are all installed within him. He has a rapier that comes out of his arm that he can use, and has a little mounted hand crossbow that comes up on his shoulder that he can shoot, that sort of thing. So now he's just trying to figure out who he is and where he came from.